Hello and welcome to our Pinterest Trends Tool webinar. Just a quick note before we start, please use the audio settings button in the bottom left-hand corner to adjust your audio options or open this meeting directly in Zoom using the link. Okay, let's get started. I'm Cecilia Shepard, and I am the senior editor for US and Canada, and I've been here at Pinterest for almost 4 years and oversee the editor's picks trends. Today, I'm joined by two of my incredible colleagues, Brittany and Olivia, who we'll be hearing from over the course of this webinar. And before we jump in, let me quickly walk through today's agenda. We'll start with a quick overview of Pinterest trends and what's new in the beta. Then we'll spend most of our time in discovering your trends. We'll walk through the different trend signals available in the tool and what they can tell you about the search, save, and shopping behavior. From there, we'll share a few best practices for how to harness those signals in your work. Since you're among the first to use the beta, we'll also cover how to share feedback with us as we ramp it up. And then um, we'll wrap with a quick look at the shopping trends feature that launched in Q1. So let's kick things off with an overview of our Pinterest Trends tool. In this section, we'll look at what makes Pinterest Trends so uniquely useful and different from other tools, and what also makes Pinterest Trends so unique in the wider trends landscape. So we know how important it is to stay close to what's happening in culture, not just to see what's trending, but to understand what's gaining momentum, what people are paying attention to, and where things are headed next. That means having a clear view into emerging trends on Pinterest and the audience behaviors behind them. The why. You want to know which trends are showing up right now, which ones matter most to your audience, and what are people actually engaging with. Pinterest Trends helps you do that. It gives you a deeper look at what's resonating on the platform so you can turn those signals into smarter creative and planning decisions. With Pinterest Trends, you can explore trends by audience, location, and time period, and you'll also be able to see what's been gaining traction over the last 90 days. And then you can also spot seasonal or future spikes before they happen. And why are Pinterest trend signals so different? Because Pinterest reflects active intent. People don't just come to our platform to passively scroll. They come to plan, discover, save ideas, and shop with purpose. And so rather than being lean back entertainment, they're leaning forward, showing you what they're most excited for. And so their behavior is so future facing as they plan their purchases, projects, and life big moments that this tool can really get you in the mindset of what their planning decision is. So these are trends that are authentic, so you can trust that they're relevant to your audience and therefore more likely to engage with them. Trends that are durable, so you can trust that your investment in them is worth it. And then also trends that are actionable, so you can trust that your audience will act on the trend content that they see. And why does this matter to you? Well, Pinterest trends last nearly 2 times longer than trends elsewhere on the internet. For advertisers, longer lifespan means planning runway, greater creative opportunity, and also much less pressure to react to fleeting fads and instead be able to be, really predictive and know that your campaign will last for the whole runway of the season. And before we go further, I just want to clarify the market availability for the beta version of the Pinterest Trends tool. While the newest tools like the shopping trends, trends in the spotlight, and editor's picks are currently only in open beta for US, UK, Ireland, and Canada, the core search trends features are widely available in over 40 global markets. And now that we know why Pinterest trends are so powerful, let me give you the lay of the land. I'll walk you through the key features and then you'll get to see it all in action. So Pinterest trends can be helpful throughout the entire planning process. It gives you a clearer view into what's picking up, what people are engaging with, and then also when interest is starting to build. By looking at a few different types of behavior, you'll get a fuller picture of what's happening on Pinterest. And in this section, we'll look at search behavior, saves, shopping trends, editorial picks, seasonal forecasting, and audience insights. And if you're looking for quick inspiration, check out our Editor's Picks Trends. These are dear to my heart because they are actually hand-curated cultural trends pulled by our Pinterest editor team to give you a quick pulse on culture. So they're not just any trends. The Editor's Picks are backed by platform data and chosen so you can keep a finger on the pulse of what's gaining real traction. For each of the editor's picks trends, you'll see a brief description of the trend, 6 inspiring pin images that visually bring the trend to life, 5 hand-picked keywords. So for something that's happening right now, like everything bedazzled, we'll make sure that the 5 keywords are touching different verticals so that no matter what type of brand you have, there's a way to activate. Um, and so you'll be able to if you're a beauty brand in festival season, you'll see glitter freckles and sparkle makeup ideas and bedazzled nail art. And then if you're a DIY and crafts brand, really see the ways that pinners are activating and creating cool things. Um, and then you'll also be able to click into each editor's picks trend and indicate if you want to sponsor the trend. And so what's great about that is you're actually able to place an ad within an editorially created board. And even as a preview in each one of the editor's picks trends, you can click in and see that board link where you're seeing how the trend is coming to life on platform already. And so the goal is simple. It's going to make it faster and easier for you to spot what trends are, get inspired, and create content or ads that speak directly to the types of trends that people on Pinterest care about, helping your brand stay timely, relevant, and impactful. And let's turn to search trends. This allows you to see what people on Pinterest are searching for now and in the future. It's often the most direct and flexible starting point, especially if you already have a specific category, keyword, or campaign theme in mind. So you're actually able to go to interest and then toggle if you're an entertainment brand, see what's coming in entertainment, or if you're a home decor brand, see what's popping in the home decor category. So it's very flexible. Or if you have a new product drop coming and you want to search by keyword to see, oh, if I'm creating a new lip gloss, um, is that keyword really resonating with pinners right now and see how it's going to perform. And then you can instantly uncover high volume search trends, see what topics are growing rapidly, and crucially spot seasonal trends that return like clockwork year after year. And so this foresight is what's going to enable you to make sure that you can plan your content and align your calendar proactively, ensuring your campaigns launch just as people on Pinterest interest is starting to spike, helping your brand own the moment, not just participate in it. And the tool also is going to help you look 90 days in the future with estimated seasonal trend lines, supporting your long-term and agile planning needs. So if Editor's Picks is your more zeitgeisty trends happening right now, then your seasonal trends will really allow for that much longer planning window. And then for even more customized insights, you can explore trends by demographics like age, gender, region, and interest segments. So you can figure out exactly what Gen Z is eating, what millennials are shopping for, or what kitchen staples baby boomers are looking for. And then by leveraging our top trends, you can see the high volume searches either by month or year, growing trends, which are sustaining growth over time, seeing, oh, these are what pinners are searching for more and more. And then again, our seasonal trends. These are the recurring predictable peaks. So you can pick the right opportunities for your campaigns and creative. Then you can also filter by week over week, month over month, or year over year calculations to spot emerging favorites or confirm what are your established audience interests. We also have this amazing intuitive growth score. That way, you don't have to do quick math yourself. You'll be able to see how a trend keyword is performing from 0 to 100, really as your thermometer for how hot the trend is doing. And so it makes it really easy to visualize your trend engagement over time. And then, best of all, our Pinterest search trends are available for all shopping monetized markets across 30 countries, letting clients and agencies scale their insights globally for planning, creative, content, and more. And now I'll pass it off to Olivia to walk you through growing trends.
Thanks so much, Cecilia, for handing it off to me. My name's Olivia McCauley, and I am the data scientist for the Trends tool, and I'm really excited to be here today to tell you about Growing Trends. Growing Trends shows you our popular global searches specifically for your audience. So that means users who follow you or engage with your pins. It moves you from platform level trends down to brand relevant behavior because not every broad internet trend actually matters to your brand. And we need to help you figure out how to do audience targeting more effectively. Growing trends help you do that by helping you learn what your unique audience already cares about, allowing you to refine messaging, identify adjacent interests, and separate general popularity from brand specific opportunities. While only available in the US, seasonal predictions are one of the most powerful features that we've actually built into search trends. Advertisers have told us that they want to be able to predict the future. With seasonal predictive trends, that's now possible, so you can confidently plan for what's next and not just react to what's happening right now. The tool provides estimated trend lines up to 90 days in the future, giving you the foresight you need to capture demand proactively. You can compare up to four trend predictions side by side and use this predictive visibility to align media timing, creative production, inventory planning, and cross functional readiness, allowing you to choose the best opportunities for your business and maximize campaign performance. Trends in the Spotlight gives you instant visibility into the macro themes and cultural movements shaping pinner behavior right now, going beyond keywords to surface what's actually driving attention on the platform. It's powered by a new methodology built on Pinterest's visual clustering technology, which analyzes saved behavior to group content into topics, creating dynamic clusters that connect pins, boards, and searches around a shared interest, allowing you to uncover macro themes and large cultural moments rather than just isolated keywords. That means that topics helps us move beyond broad categories like fashion or highly specific keyword trends like black polka dot skirt outfit to characterize the overarching ideas like main pop girl aesthetic or Parisian summer that reflect the aesthetic visions that pinners actually have for their lives. Because topics are built from saves, they capture what people are actively planning around, not just passively browsing for. Topics are also dynamic by design and automatically update as new interests emerge. So that means you always get to see what's trending now and not what was trending last quarter. For each trending topic, you'll get 52-week performance data, month-over-month growth, the associated search queries, and a description as well as 6 pin images to illustrate the aesthetic of the theme itself. Pins and saves are one of the most powerful and one of the most unique signals of intent in digital advertising, and Pinterest is really at the forefront of this signal. A save is really a deliberate act of curation that's unlike any other action that you can take on social media. Users pin content to their boards when they want it in their future. It indicates their aspirations and their intentions in a deeply personal way. This kind of signal just doesn't exist anywhere else at scale, and it makes pin events a fundamentally different kind of signal. They don't just tell you what somebody is interested in right now. They tell you what they're planning, building toward, and intending to act on. It tells you about their vision for their future. And when your campaigns align with people's vision for their futures and what they're actively curating, your campaigns work significantly harder for you. In a recent analysis, promoted pins that were aligned with save-driven trends delivered 173% greater impressions and 154% more traffic, indicating how strong it is to take advantage of this kind of signal on Pinterest for advertising. Next up is shopping trends. This feature helps you discover the exact product categories your audiences are actively shopping for, answering one of the most common questions merchants face, which is, what should I be promoting right now? Traditional insights really haven't offered enough depth or actionability to answer that question effectively, but Pinterest is uniquely positioned to change that. With the ability to observe cross-merchant shopping activity at scale, we can surface a level of detail and granularity you simply can't get anywhere else. Pinterest isn't just a place where people follow trend. It's actually where trends are born, often weeks or months before they surface anywhere else. The Shopping Trends dashboard addresses this head on, giving you the ability to identify which product categories like furniture or lipstick are trending across both organic and promoted pins. It helps you understand why a category is trending because we arm you with concrete engagement metrics like saves and clicks. Then you can go deeper with demographic and behavioral filters and slice the data we provide you by region, age, or gender to see exactly who is engaging and with each trend so that you know whether a trend is relevant to you. Then you can streamline your campaign building by viewing the most relevant searches that are actually tied to each trending product category and copy them directly into your campaign planning for more effective audience targeting. This makes shopping trends incredibly valuable for merchandising decisions, product prioritization, and promotion planning. So, in practice, it helps you determine exactly which products you should feature, how to prioritize your categories, and which audiences you can target, yielding you greater campaign performance in the long run. To dive a little bit deeper into how product category shopping trends deliver performance, we should talk about how you can turn insights into tangible results with those trends. Now, at Pinterest, we understand your ultimate goal isn't just to spot a trend, it's to actually utilize it in driving greater performance for your ads. Our Shopping Trends module helps you do exactly that by converting insights into measurable lower funnel campaign results. We leverage signals that are unique to Pinterest to pinpoint where pinner demand lies. That's our role. This then gives you the visibility you need into which products in your catalog resonate most with your audience. We want to tell you what's a hot commodity in your catalog. With that knowledge, you can make confident, data-driven decisions about which products to feature in your lower funnel campaigns and how to prioritize them. The results speak for themselves when we look at the data, that promoting pins in trending shopping categories can deliver nearly 2 times the impressions and increase outbound clicks by up to 44%. That means that altogether, Shopping Trends empowers your brand to move faster, to make smarter choices, and act at the right moment, taking advantage of trend velocity while keeping your strategy trend forward and driving real, meaningful results. Now I'll hand it off to Brittany for her live demo. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for handing this off. And just 1 second here while I share my screen. All right. Hello, everyone. I am Brittany Govan, Product Marketing Manager here at Pinterest, and I am supporting merchant experiences for product marketing. Um, so we're going to dive into the tools, trends tool in action. In this demo, we'll show you how to review trends in the spotlight, check shopping trends, explore trending searches, explore seasonal Pinterest trends, editor's picks, and how to apply filters to personalize trends. So first, we're going to dive into our scenario one here in the demo, which is trends in the spotlight. So when you're on the trends tool, the first thing you will see on the main page is trends in the spotlight. And what this is how you can plan a campaign around a rising trend. So when you look over here, what you can see is there are 15 different categories or interests, as we call them. And so it's not necessarily a search term. This is what people are saving like as pins. So for example, as we see decorative pillows over here, these are pins that are within that theme, or boards that we may see that have that in the title. So if we want to dive in a little bit, let's pretend I'm a home decor retailer and I'm looking to plan a campaign. Um, I can see here that decorative pillows are up 2,000%. And in people saving them, then what that means is that that many people, or that percentage of people, should I say, are saving this to their board over the past month. And as we can see here, just it was lower earlier this year in January 2026, but when we look, it's really trending at this moment and taking off. So as a retailer, if I have that inventory, I may want to look at campaigns as to like how to use decorative pillows and start a campaign that drives traffic to my website and conversions. Now we're going to move on to demo two, which is shopping trends. So there are two ways to get to shopping trends, and I'll go back here. You can scroll down, and shopping trends is right below trends in the spotlight, as we see here. You also have the option to click on it over here. It leads you to the exact same place. And so when it comes to shopping trends, if I'm a merchant and I want to figure out how to identify specific product categories to feature in my upcoming campaign, I would go to either of the left nav or scroll down. An example that I can use, which is here just in this first slide, is if I'm a beauty advisor and I wanted to figure out what's a feature in an upcoming campaign starting in May. I look here, I see sunscreen, for example, is up 382% month over month. And what that means is just people clicking on actual pins that are going to an external retail site. So clicking in, you could see in this module that shows at the top here, here are the top products across Pinterest as inspiration, and you can highlight that product if it's in your inventory. Also here, if you click and look at just exploring the products, it'll show you the top 50 pins, and those are the products that are top 50 products, again, that route externally to what users are clicking on. So if we look and we kind of go down here, we can see here just over the last since October of 2025, we can really see that sunscreen, for example, is taking off this month. Um, and what this also, what you see here, when you see that predicted interest, which we'll dive into a little bit more, that is our forecast. So, for example, when it comes to sunscreen in particular, we can see that this is expected to grow by 25% in the next 30 days. And one unique thing as well about this tool is you can actually look back over, filter and look back up to 2 years in the past. And so you can also look at like various trends and see kind of like where those spike points are happening over the last 2 years, um, and be able to filter from there in terms of from that performance. And then you also can go down and look at the demographics, filtering by age, gender, and a few other just queries related to sunscreen. Now we're going to go back and dive into our search trends. And again, search trends as well. If we're at the main screen, you can click here and see it in that left nav. You also have the ability to look down, just scroll down on the main screen and see search trends, forgive me. So a few things to note about search trends. There are several, when we click in and go view search trends, there are several filters here. So you can filter by interest, you can filter by age, gender, and also specific keywords. So to, for example, to get a feel for particular keywords that are being searched, we can look here and let's try maybe looking into beauty, for example. We look here, we could see that April nails, for example, is the number one trending thing. And we also have the ability to filter by like weekly changes, monthly changes, and yearly changes. And we can dive into any of these, and any of them that have the globe next to them, which I shared a little bit earlier, is ones where you can also see a forecast and sort of how it's trending or growing. Um, so other popular categories as well, like if we maybe wanted to look into women's fashion. Again, we could see some of these as well with significant growth, large yearly change. Again, when we see that prediction, it allows us to be able to see how that's trending and what that growth looks like. Now we are going to dive into our to do is basically like plan for like 90 days ahead, for example. One of the top ones, as we know, Coachella just recently passed. So when we click in here and we look at the forecast, we know just right before Coachella hits, there's that big spike in people looking for Coachella outfits. For this year, there was that big spike. Obviously, Coachella is over, so we see that's going to trend down. And the prediction as well is showing that that projection will go down, because Coachella is now over and people are no longer looking for Coachella outfits. All right, now we're going to exit out of that and we are going to jump into our editor's pick. So editor's picks, as we scroll down here on the main screen, this is highlighted out right here. And this is really just adjusting your creative based on trend insights that we've found. So this is curated by our editorial team that Cecilia mentioned earlier. And so here you can see like exact pins that resonate with each of these trends. So if we look here, we see the bedazzled everything. So this gives you a description and insight into like related keywords, and you can also like click view more. So I'm not going to click that, like view board, sorry. I'm not going to click that because it will take us out to an extra screen. But if you click that, it does show you full boards of contents that you can use and work with your creative teams to get inspiration and bring this topic to life on our platform. All right, now we are going to click over. We are going to complete the demo and just walk over to our next set of content. All right, now we're going to dive into best practices. So tip one is really just having content calendars. You want to match your campaign timing to the exact moment interests begin to rise. Don't wait for the peak. Tip two, this is product selection. So you want to ensure you want to ensure you feature your product that aligns with active demand by using shopping and search signals, features that we've explored to decide what inventory to spotlight. Next, we're going to go into future planning. So leverage search predictions, such as the ball feature that we showed for a 90-day look ahead to be able to plan future campaigns proactively, give your team more time to produce high intent campaigns. You want to be able to leverage shopping predictions for a 30-day look ahead to plan future shopping campaigns proactively. Tip four is going to be creative optimization. So align your ad copy and visuals directly to the trends you discover. So trend insights can influence your language, your visual styles, product framing, and calls to action. Now we're going to dive into campaign targeting. You can leverage trends to inform your creative. So first, use Pinterest trends insights to shape your advertising strategy, tailor your visuals and copy so that they directly align with what's currently trending on the platform. Then you want to amplify that with Pinterest Performance Plus. So once your ads are built around these insights, activate Performance Plus targeting. It's a part of our Pinterest Plus ad suite that uses AI and animation. And so automation, sorry. And Pinterest Performance Plus targeting takes cues from your trend informed creative to identify additional relevant users likely to take action. And then lastly, we're going to jump into annual planning. So ensure you feature products aligned with active demand by using shopping and search signals to decide what inventory to spotlight. Now we're going to look into Kohl's success story as an example. Kohl's used Trends Insight to develop new creative featuring related products and a now trending banner to catch people's eyes. Running ads with that now trending banner drove more click-throughs and more efficient CPM or cost per mail than ads without the banner. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Let's talk about some brand new features dropping on shopping trends that I think you're going to love. So in Q1, which we showed in the demo, we rolled out the predictions tool, which predictions for you module in shopping trends in the US, UK, Ireland, and Canada, which allow you to view top recommended shopping predictions based on your business. So the most exciting part is that you'll be able to instantly see where outbound clicks and consumer interest is predicted to grow over the next 30 days. Also in Q1, top products module launched. So this is where you're now able to see top products across pins. This feature allows you to learn from exact products that are already winning and generating the highest engagement across each category. You can use this to get real-time visibility into what is resonating with people on Pinterest and to directly inform your creative and merchandising strategies moving forward. We're going to wrap up with a recap of our top takeaways. And so that's, Pinterest Trends helps you discover what matters now and next. Then Pinterest Predictive Trends is to plan ahead, use real-time shopping data to select your featured products, and streamline your workflows by creating campaigns directly from the Pinterest tool using your product categories. Next, use it to shape your timing, creative, and targeting. And then lastly, leverage Pinterest tools for personalization and seasonal views to plan smarter. And then now I'm going to pass it over to Javier for the Q&A.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Brittany. We want to thank everybody so much for your attention today. As you can see on the screen, we do have a QR code. We would love your feedback on today's session, and we will be sending a follow-up email with today's recording, as well as additional topics that we discussed today, right? Now, I know we covered a lot of information today, and we have been getting a lot of great questions throughout the webinar. So let's take a few minutes to answer some of those questions. Let me pull up the first one. So this is more about seasonality of data. So it's how can we use Pinterest Trends seasonality data to plan content 2 to 3 months ahead, especially for destinations with lower search volume, but maybe higher conversion potential. Brittany, would you be able to kind of share a little bit more on that?
Sorry, yes, can jump in. And can you repeat that question really quick?
Sure.
Sorry, making sure.
How can we use Pinterest Trends seasonality data to plan content 2 to 3 months ahead, especially for destinations with lower search volume, but maybe higher conversion potential?
Yeah, and that's really just looking to while all categories won't necessarily have that forecast or that ball, it's really leveraging that ball, categories that do have that to be able to predict. So when you look in like the trends overview as we walk through, when you looked into different search trends and you look into growing trends and seasonal trends, you can see how that walkthrough allows you to sort of plan for the future. And then the Coachella example that we use, for example, you could see when that peak comes for people looking for, there's Coachella nails, there's Coachella outfits, being able to see when those sort of topics become hot. And knowing so that you can look at using the 2 year feature as well to look back and see a lot of those trends that are kind of consistently up and down at certain times. And again, looking at trends that may be new and the forecast is showing you, hey, this is what's coming over the next, 30 to 90, 30, 60, or 90 days when it comes to like what Pinterest predicts.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Next question we have is how can small, mostly service-based businesses use the Pinterest Trends tool to promote themselves? And we actually, I believe, have Stephanie Park here, one of our product managers. So wondering if Stephanie, you could give us some insight on that.
Sure. I think you've probably heard this several times throughout this presentation, but Pinterest is where people come to plan. And I think as service industry businesses, you tend to think that Pinterest could be just for shopping or home decor or things that are basically product based. But actually, there's a lot of pinners that basically use it for projects, planning, right? So what they, when you think about it from that perspective, you want to target pinners and understand the pinner behavior based on that kind of planning behavior. So what you would do is if you go on the trends tool, you'll always see a filter called interest. And that interest, I don't know if we've mentioned it throughout this presentation, but interest is basically pinner interest. And so you'll be able to see things for like event planning or wedding or food and drinks or gardening. So there's a lot of interest-based data that you'll be able to filter through and find information and find pinner behavior based on those interests. So it should be fairly easy for service businesses to find the data that they need to start advertising and reaching pinners.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Next question is just tips on timing trends correctly for seasonal concepts. Wonder, Brittany, would you be able to give us some thoughts, tips?
Yeah, and kind of tying it back to as I shared at the demo, there are some trends that have like as we walk through sunscreen, for example, there are some trends that just have again that pretty consistent sort of seasonal spikes. There's also when you look into a lot of like prom photography, there are categories that you definitely see, just especially again, that's why I encourage you to use that like past, going back that 2 years. It'll let you know some trends that may just be, sort of popular at the moment or newly popular. And then some trends that have that sort of, okay, throughout, the year, this is when it spikes or it's happening once a year, twice a year. So being able to leverage again that like past data as well as leveraging that predict the future tool allows you, in my opinion, to sort of like really just dive in and sort of play with that and look at various areas and find things that are relevant to your business. So even if you're a merchant and you maybe don't even like carry certain products, it can let you know, well, hey, around this particular season, this might be a time that I can like offer something new or offer something trending. And again, planning your business and your creative and campaigns or your business, your creative, any merchandise you may have around these trends.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Brittany. Next question. How should posts from Pinterest be different from those on TikTok, Instagram, other sources? Stephanie?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the way that I would say TikTok and Instagram versus Pinterest works is that TikTok and tends to be sort of a lean back entertainment platform versus Pinterest, which is a lean forward planning platform basically for pinners. So that I think basically changes how you look at Pinterest versus other platforms. And so you have to see Pinterest as a unique value proposition that is like that can bring you a different perspective in terms of how pinners act and behave. So from a mindset perspective, so like if you think about like TikTok, people are scrolling to watch something, and on Pinterest, pinners are basically searching for something and they're acting, they're building, they're collecting, they're figuring out what they want to cook this week. And then in terms of shelf life, Instagram is about 24 hours. Pins basically last years. So the way that I would think about it is like if once you put up some of your most engaging and inspirational content on Pinterest, that will live and people will keep pinning it and using it to curate their lives. And then creative style. So, TikTok and Instagram have short form videos. Pinterest does too, but Pinterest is just in general such a visual platform that all of that content, more so than sort of like comments or text or things like that, are going to resonate with your audience.
Fantastic. Next question we have, which is a really interesting one, is how do you spot trends on Pinterest if there are no likes or no likes on visible posts? So how do users know what other users are pinning most on the platform? And Brittany?
Yeah, so that's tied to the Trends in the Spotlight tool that we demoed. And so with that, with Trends in the Spotlight, again, that's not what people are searching, but that's actually what people are saving the most. And it's based on, again, like maybe the themes that we see they're saving or certain titles in the things that they're saving. But when you're looking at, I know for the demo here, we use the pillow example, but really leveraging that Trends in the Spotlight, that will show you what people are actually saving on their boards, and it will let you know those most popular categories. And again, you can break that down into 15 different interests. To be able to see what people are saving. So if there's no comments, but they're saving it, it would be popping up here in our Trends in the Spotlight.
Perfect. And then the next question is, what sources do you use to determine the latest trends? So I guess a lot of people are very curious about the how it works on the back end. I'm curious, Cecilia, I think this could be a question for you. So what sources do you use to determine the latest trends?
Yeah, so as a Pinterest editor, I spend a good part of my day every day really embedded in this tool. Because we have over 600 million active users coming every single month through our platform, and as Stephanie mentioned, it's really lean forward entertainment where you're here to plan. There's high signal. Of course, there's people by looking at the keyword searches, you're seeing, oh, this is something where, if someone's say, oh, butter yellow's trending, and I've heard this and I want to come find it. You're seeing that come through in the search data, but equally so, there's lots of people who are planning for something in the early phases where they're in discovery mode. And so actually, when you go on platform, when you start with one search and then maybe you keep clicking around, click more ideas like this. It's such a visual first search engine that even if you don't have the few words to describe what you're looking for, that's when our save behavior, our shopping behavior really is showing those other parts of the search journey that are beyond just keyword, but visual first. That really gives you these 360 views of how pinners are engaging on platform. And so I'd really recommend I'm clicking through all of the keyword data to see what's coming, but also spending time in some of our search and save as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cecilia. And we're getting a lot of great questions. We only have time for one more. But the question is, what's the best way to use the Pinterest Trends tool to identify? Oh, so it's specific around weddings. All right, great question. So what's the best way to use the Pinterest Trends tool to identify what brides are searching for at different stages of planning? And how can we tailor that content? Stephanie, perhaps you can help answer that one?
Sure. So I would probably say like this is tied to exactly what Cecilia was saying. The way that I would think about it, if your business is related to brides or weddings, is that like if you want to start, depending on when you want to start running campaigns, or yeah, doing some sort of like campaign activation, I would almost start like really far ahead. because we know it could take months, sometimes almost a year for brides to plan for stuff. So think 12 plus months ahead. You want to start sort of like thinking from the bride's point of view, what is she looking for? She probably doesn't have anything like very clear in her mind. And so she's doing her inspiration shopping. So the way that you would maybe look up searches for like something very upper funnel, wedding color palettes, outdoor wedding ideas, like very inspirational sort of themes. You and then you start sort of narrowing down as you go through the calendar year. So like maybe 6 months to 12 months out, you know that they're narrowing down their choices. So you start looking for those narrower search terms or products. So is it wedding venues, wedding dress styles, things like that. And then as they go even further down into the inquiries, and say you are a bridal shop, you want to start looking at some of our shopping trend insights to see like what are they clicking, and what kind of products are they clicking to, and seeing like a lot of outbound click volume. So that's sort of how I would think about it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Appreciate that insight. Excellent. Well, with that, that was our final question, but we thank you for your time today. Again, we will be sending a recording of this webinar, so you will have access to this content, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you so much.